morning, everybody. Welcome to this Monday morning. Happy Martin Luther King Day to everyone. You know, a day that we think about and we consider for service. A day that we think about who can I serve instead of just serving myself as we honor Dr. King today. So just wanted to say happy MLK Day to everyone. But I wanted to get into a couple things with us today. There I go, Ed Cook Jr., the morning after. I want to welcome you to the morning after. How do I live in my life the morning after? You know, we go to church or we do whatever we do on a Sunday, and then we take it in, and then we got Sunday afternoon. But how am I living the morning after? How am I applying the word the morning after? How am I then going and doing? Because here's the thing, guys. We have to understand that the morning after, and welcome everybody. Thank you guys for coming in this morning. I really appreciate it. But we have to get to this level where we're not only hearing the word, but we're doing the word. Yesterday, I asked a question. In my years of going to church and listening to sermons, I have never heard anybody ask the question of, how are you hearing? How are you hearing the word? Because here's the thing. Just because our ears take in some sound, just because our ears resonate and hear words, hear mumblings, hear whatever we hear, doesn't mean that we're listening, doesn't mean that we're focused, doesn't mean that we're actually taking whatever the words are, whatever it is that we're hearing, and then actually applying, actually thinking about it, actually meditating on it, actually considering everything that we hear. Just because there's something that I hear doesn't mean I'm listening. Just because I am in the room when someone is talking doesn't mean I'm listening. I could be distracted, as we talked about yesterday. I could be a confrontational hearer where, you know what, I don't care what you got to say. I found the one thing that I don't like that you said, and then I'm going to do something, and then I'm going to concentrate on that for the next 20 minutes because I'm a confrontational hearer, or I'm a hearer that only likes to hear what I like to hear. I'm a reinforcement hearer, or I'm blind hearer. I only hear for you. I don't even hear for me. You know, there's so many ways that we actually hear the word that we have to be conscious that when we're in a place where we're getting instruction, not just from the word of God, but from a coach, from a friend, from your pastor, whenever we're getting instruction, guys, we have to be intentional. There goes that word again that I've been using all year. We have to be intentionally focused to comprehend what I'm hearing. Let me say that again. We have to be intentionally focused to comprehend what I'm hearing. Because if I am not intentionally focused to comprehend what I'm hearing, I won't do. I won't be, I won't go, I won't act upon. And all those things that we listed yesterday about how am I hearing, we got to decide if that's how we're hearing, is that preventing me from actually doing the word, being the word, and then getting the benefits of the word. Now, the one that, that stuck out to me yesterday was the distracted hearer. I believe in this world, we have so many opportunities to be distracted. We have so many things that's fighting for our attention. We have spouses that are fighting for our attention. We have our children that's fighting for our attention. We have television, social media, internet, period, our jobs, our personal things that we like, our dreams, our goals. We have so many things that are fighting for our attention. And what's happening is we're going 15 and 20 different ways in our head, and we can't ever get any one thing done. Or maybe I'll just talk for myself. It's interesting. I have to make myself a list. I have to make myself a list of this is what I need to do, because I'll start doing this and then I get distracted. Oh, I'm thinking about this, got to be done. Let me go start doing that. And then let me go start doing this. And let me go start doing that. And what happens is I never stay on any one. If I don't stay on any one thing, I won't get that thing done, because I have to be intentionally focused on one thing at a time to get that done. Well, I want us to translate that over to our hearing today. We have to be intentionally focused on what we're listening to in order to get the fullness of what's being said. And then I can then turn around and do what's being said so I can get the blessing that's promised from the word. Too many of us are falling short of the blessing that God has promised us because we're not fully engaged. We don't fully obey what he's told us to do. We half engaged when we heard it. Then we half engaged when we did it, because we only know in part because we didn't listen. And then when we don't get the fullness of the blessing, then we're mad at God. And then we're saying the Bible doesn't work, when in reality, we were never focused in on it. Scripture that I read yesterday, one of them, James chapter 1, verse 25. But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed. He not being a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed. So here's the thing. We need to now decide what we are. Are we forgetful hearers? And the way we talked about it yesterday was this: if I go into the bathroom and I look in the mirror and I see something on my face or on my clothes that needs to be fixed, and then I get distracted or something else comes up, or if I don't attend to it and do it right away and walk away from the mirror, more than likely I will forget what I just saw, unless someone who loves me enough will come and tell me, hey, you got something on your shirt. Hey, you got something on your nose. You got a little toogie on your nose. You got something on your beard. You got something somewhere else. Why? Because being a intentional, focused hearer will require you to immediately act upon what you heard. See, that's the problem with most of us. We hear, and then if we don't immediately act on what we heard, then we forget what we heard. And so a lot of times we move away from the mirror. We move away from that place of self-reflection. We move away from that place of doing something because, let's be quite honest, we move away because we got distracted, because we're confrontational, because we're a blind hearer, we're a self-righteous hearer, we are pessimistic hearer. Now, I talked about all this yesterday. I won't go through all of that again, because then, we'll be here for another 30 minutes. But we become all of those type of hearers, which prevent us from fully engaging into the words. And like I said, go look at our sermon yesterday. It was really insightful on how am I hearing the word. And so the challenge is now for us not to be what the Bible calls a forgetful hearer. And we can't let all the other things coming at us not allow us to fully, purposefully, intentionally engage in being that intentional hearer. Okay? I want you guys to experience the blessing. I want you to experience what God has for you. I want you to walk in the fullness of the blessing. But you can't walk in that just because you show up. Too many of us have the show up spirit. You can't do that just because you show up. When you show up, you have to show up with the intent of hearing the word, listening to the word, comprehending the word, understanding the word, and then immediately doing the word. If there was a word that challenged you yesterday, then your responsibility is to immediately do the word. If something confronted you, if something you found something that was contrary to what the word says about you and your life, it is your responsibility if the Lord put it in front of you to immediately do the word. Why? Because now you're going to get the blessing. Let me put that back up. He said, he not being a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed. I want you to think about the blessing as a multiplier. Whatever I do, I'm going to put the multiplier on what I've done, and I'm going to be blessed in my deed. I'm going to be blessed in my deed. And so I want you guys to really understand and really get it today that we have to now train ourselves. We have to learn. We have to be focused whenever we're in a place of instruction. When I'm reading, when I'm watching something on TV. You ever watched a movie or watched a game or watched something and somebody came to distract you or to talk to you, and if you don't got DVR, you missing everything that's going on. You can't pause it. You missing everything that's going on because why? Now there's two things that's happening at once. Yesterday I told you guys I did some research, and a scientist was saying there's no such thing as multitasking, that we can't multitask. And I want to really address that for a moment. We don't multitask. What we do in our brain is we stop one thing and we do something else. You see, multitasking in reality means I can do two or more things at one time and be effective at both and get the fullness out of both. And so we think we can multitask with our hearing, but in reality, I can only effectively listen to one thing at a time. I can't multitask my hearing. What the scientist said was we turn off one thing and we turn on another when we're trying to multitask. And then what we do is then when we try to go back to the other thing, we have to turn that thing off and then go back to the other thing. So we're really we have two things going on at once, but we're not doing them simultaneously. You cannot hear effectively and do something else simultaneously. Let's just get that out. You cannot hear effectively. You cannot comprehend effectively. You cannot understand effectively while you're distracted and doing something else. So you may hear part of what's going on. It may go into you, but you won't be able to do it effectively. And if you can't do it effectively, then you won't be able to do what you heard and then reap the benefits of what you just heard. So that's really what I have this morning for you guys. Don't want to go too long with these, but just a quick hit on this Monday morning, just to let you know it's okay. It's okay now that we examine and look at how we're hearing the word. I simply want you guys to win. I simply want the blessing of the Lord to overrun you in your life in every area of your life. But you can't be half in doing it. You can't be half there, your mind half somewhere else, and somewhere else is distracted. It's going to take being intentionally focused on the word, intentionally focused on what God said, and then with some intentionality to do what you hear immediately so that you can reap the benefits of the word. Man, thank y'all so much for being here. I love y'all. Appreciate you on this Monday morning. Hey, if this has affected you in any way, if this is helpful for you, leave some comments. Subscribe to our channel, Revive a Life Transformation Church, to get these morning afters. And some other things are coming pretty soon, guys. So I'm looking forward to it. We may start our podcast back up. And so hopefully, if you need something to listen to, need something to encourage you, to push you, that we will go ahead and that you would subscribe to our podcast when it comes up, but I'll let you know when that comes out. So thank you guys for being here this morning. Have an absolutely wonderful day today. I love y'all, man.